Trailseeker is proudly brought to you by King Price Insurance. The King Price Trailseeker series is back in 2022. The first of 6 amazing events took place in the jewel of South African mountain biking, the Banhoek Valley. Plassey Wine Estate lies in the southern slopes of Simmonsburg Mountain and is the gateway to a multitude of the very best trails in the world. It is to these trails that many of the world's top mountain bikers migrate every summer to hone their skills and put in the hours ahead of their international seasons. Round 1 of King Price Trailseeker series here in Banhoek had the privilege of hosting a few of them. A natural fit, it would seem, considering the series is the biggest of its kind. Filippo Colombo, 2021 Tokyo Olympic gold medalist.
Maybe the best trail that I've ever ride, and I really love to come here, and I'll come again for sure.
I'm quite consider myself as a local here. I know pretty much all of the trails, and I've ridden the route before, so I think it's a nice. Really looking forward to it.
Anderson, Colombo and a host of the best South African racers set off on a clear, hot morning for what is regarded as one of the toughest races on the calendar. The prospect of temperatures in the high 30s.
Yeah, we got some good international riders pitching up today, so it's going to be interesting to see how the South Africans' legs compare to the internationals. The routes are, I want to say, your mid to high level of type of racing. We've got a bit of everything for the small ones, for the big guys. So racing is going to be fast and furious.
And that's exactly how it panned out. Local man Mark Joubert took the fight to the international stars as they went up the Botmanskop climb. These trails are hand-cut by the crew of dedicated trail builders, and the riders were enjoying them at their very best. Joubert's teammate Wessel Botha was on his own in second place. The third group comprised of Javier Kruger, Pieter de Tooy and Arno de Tooy. They were followed by Matt Kaiser, Jaco Venter and Simon Anderson. While the big guns were out in the mountains, back at Plassey, the vibe was electric as riders prepared for their races. Be it the marathon, the half marathon or the 20 or 10 kilometers, there was something for everyone.
The King Price Trailseeker events are always super well organized, lots of energy, the trails are always manicured and perfect for riding, and such a super event afterwards, lots of cheers, lots of fun.
Location's brilliant. Plassey is so well known. I haven't ridden here before, so I'm very excited to actually get into these trails, and it's a perfect day for it. So I wanted to give it a shot.
The shorter races at Banhoek saw a return to competitive racing in a reimagined school series, a vitally important part of the sport.
It's the first time in about 2 years, obviously of COVID. There was a lot of changes. They couldn't have gatherings. The title sponsor of the school cycling series pulled out. And we've been working with School Cycling South Africa to get some of the kids back on the bikes and to piggyback in our King Price Trailseeker event. And it worked so well. There's about 150 kids from 28 schools that took part in the event today, and it was just great to have them here, especially with the Olympic champs like Yolanda here. I think it's very special for the kids as well to see these pros and see the heroes on a day like today.
The Olympic champion and former world champion Yolanda Neff was the hot favourite to win the women's marathon race. What a moment for Tiffany Keep as she led the Swiss champion through Plassey. But it did not take long for the Swiss star to move to the front. The trails were well suited for Neff to show off her sublime technical skills. Formerly Amy McDougall, now Mrs. Amy Wakefield and riding for Simtech, was in second place. Not far behind her was Mauritian Kim Lacourt of Efficient Insure Infinity Racing. She was chasing hard. Back with the elite men who were on the world-class Boschendal Trail Network, and still local man Joubert was showing Colombo the way. Arno de Tooy of Insect Science had Pieter de Tooy of Mbuko Type Dev breathing down his neck as they flew down the mountain trail. Arbia Creer of Valley Electrical Titan Racing, the Paarl resident knows the trails like the back of his hand. The Danish champion Andersen, with marathon specialist Sasha Weber on his wheel, was also fading on the wickedly steep technical climbs. Sweeping down a big switchback, Hubert could sense a possible victory as Colombo was still behind him. The Mbuko Type Dev giant rider was in red-hot form. It was going to be mighty close as they would wind their way up and down the lush vineyards into the finish at Placé, where it was Filippo Colombo who managed to outride Marco Hubert and take the win.
Maybe he invested a little bit too much in the first part of the race, and in the last climb I had a small gap, but with all the switchbacks and stuff, he could hang on with me, and it was a final sprint. I didn't know exactly the final kilometers, so I was pulling all the way to the finish. I was just pulling.
No disgrace to be beaten by a former under-23 world champion silver medalist. Arno de Tooy managed to take third place.
So I wasn't 100% confident, but I felt good early on and I was quite happy, a bit frustrated with just being in the wrong position, maybe being a bit too conservative early on, but happy in the end to pull it through into third place.
The bubbles flowed at Placé for Colombo, Hubert and de Tooy. The quality of the field and the trails was reflected in the times. 2 hours 47 minutes is a super fast time over a very tough technical marathon course. 10 minutes between Colombo and 9th placed Jaco Venter. It was a perfect day to be out on a mountain bike, savouring the unparalleled beauty of the Western Cape, while enjoying the company and competitive spirit of like-minded people. After a torrid 2 years, faded memories were restored and the drive to ride was rekindled, as Faces founder Clark Gardner knows all too well.
It's been good, but I have discovered that I'm still a roadie after all these years of trying the mountains, battling and getting beaten by the mountains, but wow, what spectacular trails. So much fun and adrenaline to be out there and a real adventure.
The vibe and the geest is awesome. Big up to the little riders and the big riders. Well done. All good.
So feeling the pain, but it's lovely out here and it's been great enthusiasm and the chock cow is amazing. So enjoying it.
My first one and I'm feeling it too. But this is good. Thank you.
Fantastic. Trail's great. A little bit hot, but no, cool down here and the ladies have been great. Thanks so much.
Faces have taken events to the next level with extra attention paid to every detail to ensure that riders arrive with a smile, ride with a grin and leave with a laugh.
The Faces group, as you can see, we continue to build on our races, invest in our races. This must be the best King Price Trailseeker we've had in the Cape. It's on an amazing farm, Placé Mall. Thank you to Rose Jordan for hosting us so brilliantly. And you got the best trails that I've ridden, and I'm sure I'd love to hear some of the pros' views on those trails. It was incredible. We had a field that included the Olympic gold medalist. Must be the biggest comeback in mountain biking, where she had such serious injuries, and Yolanda Neff came back and got gold at the Olympics and is really a legend. She's a legend in my house. My 3 daughters are crazy about her. So having her and Filippo Colombo and Simon Andreasen here, you can see that everything's about getting better all the time in increments. Whether it's broadcasting, whether it's branding, whether it's the cues and the coffee, the Faces group just plans to do better every year. We need to be 5% better a month, not even 5% better a year.
Perhaps a few percent better than the rest was Yolanda Neff, as she opened a big gap between the talents Amy Wakefield, with Kim LaCourte chasing hard in third. A rare privilege to have the current Olympic champion racing on the lawns of Placé Wine Estate, as she won in 3 hours 13 minutes.
It's beautiful. It's so cool to ride all these trails. I didn't know most of them, so it was really nice to discover some new trails, and you never had to think where to go, you could just follow. So yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Simtek's Amy Wakefield rolled home in second place 12 minutes after Neff, with Kim LaCourte hot on her wheel in third.
we lined up next to Yolanda Neff, who's obviously the Olympic champion, so kind of tried to keep it up as much as I could, and then got my second place. But absolutely loved, so thanks so much to the organisers, and our trails were amazing. I think the water points were, as I was past, they looked pretty good as well. So yeah, thanks guys.
There was a little gold dust sprinkled on Placer as Yolanda Neff stepped up to collect her prize. Neff is a fantastic ambassador for the sport. Her winning time was good enough to place her 21st overall. Amy and Kim were both inside the top 30. A mix of experience and youth in the top 10. Olympic triathlete Marie Rabi was 5th, and a few months after finishing high school, Andrea Schoffman was 8th. The Banhoek Valley was showing off in a spectacular way. While the top riders showed their class, hundreds of keen amateur mountain bikers got to experience some of the finest trails in the land. But as the morning wore on, the mercury rose into the high 30s, which made for a particularly tough ride for some of the late finishers.
It was brutal, but it was good fun. Really lekker, some beautiful single tracks, some horrible climbing as normal, but you got rewarded for the climbs, and it got extremely hot towards the end. But what a beautiful route, really enjoyed it, and now it's time for an ice cold beer.
The magic of King Price Trailseeker is its appeal. There's no discrimination, particularly when it comes to age.
Yeah, I'm old, that's the problem. But Glanbit was sandbagging with a half marathon, that's why I beat him today. That sandbag hit me on that one uphill, but that single track going through the shadows, the breeze, all downhill, lekker.
A fitting way to start the 2022 King Price Trailseeker. Banhoek has set the benchmark. There are 5 more events to come. In April at Sondela, May takes us to Buffelsdrift, then midwinter we ride at Legends MX. In July, the stunning Van Galens, and then the final stop back in the Cape in September in Wellington. Put them on your calendar. You won't regret it. King Price Trailseeker was proudly brought to you by King Price Insurance.